So hello guys, welcome back to my channel and probably one of the most requested crossovers on my channel. So what I have here today is that all new 2022 Changan CS35 Plus Luxe. This is the top of the line variant. So I've driven the base model Lite variant. Link of that will be in the description down below. So I'd like to thank Sir Aris and Sir Oreo and Changan E. Rodriguez for making this review possible. Comparing with the older CS35, this just looks way better. And finally, I can give my thoughts now on this CS35 Plus since I couldn't have enough seat time with the Lite van in the MOA test drive event. So here at the front of the CS35 Plus, look at this. It looks way better, way more aggressive, better than its main rival. I'll get to that in a bit. So you have LED lights here all around, and this one you have one long LED light bar, and the grille here looks very similar to a luxury car. I think you know what that is already. And being CS35 Plus variant, you have an S logo. I think that is the same throughout the CS35 Plus variants. So as well, also same here with these red streaks here, similar to the CS75, but these are more pronounced now. So ground clearance here is 100 millimeters, which is on par with its competition. So you have 18-inch wheels now compared with the 17-inch of the Lite variant. The Hype also has 18-inch wheels. And on the side profile, looks pretty mean. There's also cladding with the red streaks on the side. And as well, below the side mirrors, you have cameras for your 360-degree camera. So here now at the rear of the Changan CS35. New to this Luxe variant, you have monotone roof now. This is an option by the way. You can still order them with the two-tone blacked out roof. And then here at the rear, yeah, there is fake vents here and there, but at least they didn't fake out the exhaust. These are all still real. And compared to the Lite variant I reviewed last May, you don't get the 280T badge here since that was a Chinese spec model, and you have a very long LED light bar here at the rear. Nice spoiler here, it is pretty flat, and only exclusive for this Luxe variant, if not mistaken, you have a power tailgate. There's also a reverse camera right there below the badge. It is quite slow, but it ain't noisy at least. So space here in the back, it is quite spacious, a bit better than its main rival, the Geely Coolray. This stands at 403 liters, and when you fold all of the seats down, you have 950 liters, which is more spacious than the Coolray as I mentioned. Load lip, it's only that tall, and getting stuff in and out won't be such of an issue. And not much storage here, no cubby spaces, no net storages. You only have one light here at the right side and a tonneau cover at least. Oh, this one feels really premium. And then underneath, you have your space saver donut type tire. That is it. So with that I'll show you the interior. You can lock the car if you press the tailgate button twice. So here now in the interior of the all-new Changan CS35 Plus. Check the door. Sounds alright. Sounds like a Japanese crossover rather than the Geely Coolray, but it does not sound too bad at all. Now, here in the interior, the design here is very good. There is a lot of brushed aluminum everywhere around the air conditioning vents, and above here, just in the dashboard, barely hints of plastic. There's a lot of soft, squidgy materials here and there. The only plastic here is below here in the door card, where you have your bottle holder and cubby spaces on each side. By the way, my water jug fits. And then here in the door, nice red leather here, even on around the window switches. Oh, that's plastic as well, even the buttons. And then here on the left side of the dashboard, you have the air conditioning vents. Again, they're huge, like the CS75 and CS95. I have more Changan reviews. The whole playlist of those will be in the description down below. And then below the air conditioning vents itself, there's a lot of buttons. Despite being a top-of-the-line variant, you only have one blank button here, but at least the rest work. And then there's one weird cubby space just down below, I assume for coins and tickets. Here in the steering wheel, it's leather. More the durable side, but there's still some squish in it, and it's a flat bottom steering wheel as well. On the left side, you have your cruise control functions and a favorites button, and on the right side, you have your connectivity buttons and for the infotainment system. As well, you have a 10-inch infotainment system. Sadly, there's still no Apple CarPlay nor Android Auto. However, there's the use of Bluetooth and the screen mirror link. And then you have a digital instrument cluster as well, similar to the CS75 Plus. And then here again in the dashboard, air conditioning vents, nice brushed aluminum here. that stretches all the way to the passenger side, and then glove box, it's pretty small. And then back here in the center, you have aluminum piano tiles for the air conditioning controls. And then below that, you have one USB port, one 12-volt socket, and a wireless charging pad that fits my phone perfectly. In the center console, you have as well a grab handle and more brushed aluminum. They look really nice, I have to say. And then the gear lever itself, similar to the CS35 Plus, looks like a jet fighter. And that's the surprise. Only thing that's gloss black in here is where the indication of where the gear is. That's cool. And then below the gear lever, you have your electronic parking brake, auto hold function, 360-degree camera, and a safe button. This is the only crossover that I know that has a built-in dash cam. And then further back, you have two cup holders with the plastic divider. Center console box, it looks long. Okay, it's... oh! What's in here? Okay, so probably one of the biggest center console boxes I've ever seen on a crossover. No toys in here, but you can definitely fit a lot of stuff. Although it's at a weird angle, as you can see, to open it fully. And then above here, you have your lights, sunglasses holder, and then buttons for your panoramic sunroof. Look at that. That is huge. And I just saw now, there's side lights as well to give in more light in the cabin. And then sun visor, it's black. There's a mirror, but there's no light. But the lights are strong enough at least. Don't extend, but the headlining material, it's black fabric. Nice to the touch. And very nice to look at as well. My favorite thing with this Changan CS35 Plus, look at these seats. The red materials here, the black and red. And there's this weird gray thing here in the middle. I love these seats. The color, it's not overkill to me, but it might be overkill to some. But I love the spec of this. It's really nice. Feels more like I'm in a German crossover rather than a Chinese crossover. So that's about it here in front of the Changan CS35 Plus Luxe variant. I'll show you the rear seats. So these are the rear seats of the Changan CS35 Plus. Sounds about alright. Exclusive for this Luxe variant, you have 6 speakers all around, and it continues the red leather here. Unlike, however, in front, that's plastic now, and below the door cards. As well, the cubby spaces is smaller now, but you still have bottle holders. My water jug is a tight squeeze, but it still fits. And you have 2 map pockets behind each seat. And then here in the center, you have 1 air conditioning vent only, sus. And then below that, you have a cubby space and 1 USB port. But at least there is. And then space here in the back, feet room and knee room is alright. Headroom though, yeah, despite the panoramic sunroof, I still kind of fit here. I mean, look, that's my headroom. I'm 5'4" by the way. You have the red leather seats again here. And I noticed straight away with these seats, they're really flat. But you can fit a lot more people in here. So with my statue, you can fit definitely 5 in here. And then the transmission tunnel is nearly flat. Like, there's only a small bump only. And then if I sit here in the middle, okay, a little bit harder because of the central armrest. The transmission tunnel won't get in the way that much since it's almost flat, as I said. And then as I said, you have the lights here on each side. And yeah, that's about it here in the back. It's like every other crossover. At least there's still that air conditioning vent and a USB port, which is important. So that's about it here in the interior of the Changan CS35 Plus Luxe variant. I'll show you what's really interesting now with this CS35 Plus, the engine. So this is the engine of the Changan CS35 Plus, all the variants. It's a 1.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that produces 160 horsepower and 260 Newton meters of torque. And this one, like the Coolray, it is mated to a 7-speed dual clutch, wet type dual clutch transmission. And yeah, there's a lot of plastic, but as you can see, it's sitting pretty down to the chassis, so to give it a better low center of gravity. Oh, there it is, 280T. So there's no more badge of it in the back, as like I said, with the Chinese spec CS35 Plus variants. So that's about it with this CS35 Plus. I can't wait to drive this now. Drive it longer here around Iulig, as I said. Shout out to Adrian. Let's go for a drive. So this is it, the Changan CS35 Plus Luxe variant. And first impressions immediately, the steering is really light. Okay, just in drive mode, this is normal mode-ish because there's no official drive modes. It's just here in the gear lever, drive and sport mode. But so far, so good. At a stop, I didn't experience the jerkiness of it. And I find this weird with this Changan CS35 Plus. I thought these were manual adjustments for the seats forwards and backwards. Yes, the height and the recline of it is manual operated, as you can see. But the button layout for it for the forwards and backwards, that I find really weird. I took a while to find it here. And then the instrument cluster, there's a lot of information here, and then I just left it in the fuel economy. And then the infotainment system, I found the 2D and 3D camera really crisp. I think it's just as good as the Coolray, I have to say. And then the brakes, I can tell it's a high bite, but they're pretty sharp. I gotta say it's a little bit better than the Coolray already. Maneuverability here around in the city, just here around Rodriguez, very easy. And let's try sport mode. As I said in my Lite review, this is literally the #1 competitor of the Coolray. Body lean, not that much, I have to say. It's really okay as well, like on par with the Coolray as well. Let's stop for a while. I do love the cameras here, pretty good. And let's launch it. Okay, a little bit of delay, but wow, yeah, just a little bit of a delay from a standstill. I noticed that, and that's already in sport mode. From a standstill, it is a little bit laggy, but here at a move, okay, it will hesitate every bit, but oh my gosh, it will get up to speed pretty quickly. Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting this at all with this CS35 Plus Luxe variant because it's a little bit down on power with the Coolray at around 16 horsepower less, but among the rest, in terms of what straight line speed and performance, this comes at a very good second place. It is that good. Okay, stop for a moment. Wow, okay. Upshifts and downshifts are nuts. It shifts up and down in my command, and then just leave it on drive mode and just floor it. Wow. Wow, this is nuts. This thing's really peppy. I'm surprised. Wow, okay. Already driven it a lot more now, I noticed. I didn't feel the jerkiness at all with this. I mean, you can feel it, but it's not as intrusive, for example, like the likes of the MGHS, since that was a dry type dual clutch transmission. Now, this is the advantage of wet type DCTs. They tend to be less jerky than that of the dry ones. But this one, you can feel it ever so slightly only, but gotta say, it is not too bad at all. I keep forgetting to do this. For better lighting only. And this is what I prefer with the Changan over the Geely Coolray. Or I think they're just the same, the NVH. Look, I'm already a rough patch of road over humps and bumps. Not much tire noise, soaks up the bumps pretty well. Yes, you can feel this. The suspension is firm, but it's still no means an uncomfortable car. It is really good. Better than the likes, I have to say, than but of the Chevrolet Tracker. I mean, that was a soft ride, but I find that ride just a little bit wallowy if you're driving in the twisties. This and the Coolray, you will definitely have fun in the twisties. And then drive mode, just a little bit of a lag, but again, in sport mode, the throttle response and the response of the transmission itself is much sharper. Yeah, despite the light steering feel, as I said, there's still good enough feel with it. I like this. And then as well, don't mention this that much, telescopic steering wheel, but that's as far as it goes. Weirdly, look, I'm not already pulling it, but that's as far as it goes. And then overtaking will be very easy. It just goes. Once you're up to speeds like 40 kilometers per hour, I noticed there's not much of a delay. It just wants to keep on going. Of course, this is a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Now, this is where it differs between the Cooley and the Tracker as well. Since those are 3-cylinder engines, this one's a 4-cylinder engine. This one is much smoother. And like the Changan Alsrin, and well, technically like all of the Changans, the blind spot monitoring when you're indicating to the left, to the right, I find that really helpful. The resolution of it is not the best nor the worst either, but it's very good to have. And as well, manual mode for automatically upshift, where you get to high speeds in no time. Oh my gosh, I'm enjoying this CS35 Plus. Wow. Yeah, probably the best Changan I've driven so far. Of course, the CS95 will be faster in a straight line, but as the perfect all-rounder, this CS35 Plus takes the cake. There's, of course, being a turbocharged engine, the low down torque is excellent. Oh, this is so good. Compared with the Cooley, this one has good NVH, so refined the drive. Yeah, I gotta say, this is the best handling in its class. Driving it a bit more compared with the Cooley. Yeah, this is the best one. I find the Geely Cooley's transmission just a little bit better though, even though that's still a wet type dual clutch transmission. Is that a 6 series? This Changan CS35 Plus isn't far off. And also what I like with this Changan CS35 Plus is its fuel economy. With my fast-paced driving only, I've been averaging 10 liters per 100 kilometers. That's really good. 10 kilometers per liter just here in the city, and of course I've been heavy-footed here. So despite the minor flaws with this Changan CS35 Plus, I would still take this home over the Cooley for obvious reasons, because of its price. Of course, you don't have the introductory price anymore. This used to be 999,000 pesos for the top of the line variant. Now, at the time of filming, it's 1,169,000 pesos, but it still undercuts the Cooley and most of its competition in terms of the features and so on and so forth. That I even forgot to mention, as you saw earlier in the digital instrument cluster and the infotainment system, this has ADAS, or the adaptive driver cruise control. That is probably the only one in its class that has this. So I'm in love with this thing now. I'm a bit speechless. This is another crossover that I should consider, apart from the Cooley and the Tracker, and many others, to be honest. They're all good, but this one, top 3. Definitely one of the best as well. So I'd like to thank Changan E. Rodriguez, Sir Ace, and Sir Ario for making this review possible, and shout out to Adrian1011 for assisting me here in this test drive. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more future car reviews. Bye bye.